Hello, welcome to today's analysis of the NQ. A little bit of related markets, maybe. Um, it is Thursday, the 4th of September. I didn't make a video yesterday. I was feeling a bit sick, but I'm back today. But let's quickly look at what they've done in the past while. So let's throw all of this into here. Take it away. Well, actually, yeah. So we had a massive push down, which I was kind of saying that they could do it. I was expecting a bit more of like maybe absorption into this area, but we just cut straight through it. We have printed a very interesting little grab, technically external on the CME, and it's like a triple divergence or SMT on the NASDAQ 100. So just the normal exchanges, the normal trading exchanges. You can see that these lows on all of the other exchanges, for example, like FXCM and stuff like that, we have ascending highs, so nothing taken, and we have damage caused here, two times on the NQ on the CME, which is interesting. It's good to know. This V-shaped recovery was a bit nuts. I took one or two trades off it in the past couple of days on this push up. You remember I was talking about this little fair value gap that we have above us. There's a chance we could come to it, but we still are playing with this 2-hour mitigation candle here. So, respect the resistance while it's there. Yeah, I think there is definitely a chance that we come up to the RTH gap, which is above us. There's one up here. If we switch, you can see it here. But we also have a very large one below this this SMT point, this NASDAQ 100 SMT area. We have one right down here too. It's a bit precarious. We have an interesting little situation here, for sure. Now, if you want to just look at the one that has had the most interaction, it's the lower one. We technically have a change of character, even though it's a bit odd. I'll show you what I mean by that now. For my definition of stuff, it's kind of odd. I mean, it's valid, but so this was the external liquidity taken. If I wanted to call it a change of character that I liked, I would have to take a mitigation point that was before this liquidity grab. Now we could argue that one of these candles is the one. I'm going to give it the benefit of the doubt, and I'm saying that it's a mitigation candle here. The thing is, we have this ascending low situation is giving me the creeps. But we did get a nice close above this point a couple of times. Took liquidity and closed above it again, and we're playing with it again around now. So if we do call this the change of character, the bigger change of character, this would be, in my mind, a candidate for a greater trend change of character. So it's a candidate, and that's why it has that exclamation mark. And also just because it can come back and take a lot of liquidity and still be technically valid. So That's why it has the exclamation mark there. I'm mulling it over, we could say. But yeah, if you want to just look at the chart, I mean, it seems like this gap here could be swiped. We have news later. Is news gonna do it? I don't know. Maybe. We did have some points. Ooh, we did have some points lower. Oh my god, just stop that. We did have some points lower that we didn't really come for. We'd have a past daily VWAP down there. Is it all the way down there? Yeah, and then we have a mid-point daily VWAP above it. So we have the past daily VWAP, and then this is where... Oh my god, why is my undo? Why is it doing that? That's so annoying. This is that one. This is the midpoint. We still have that below us, but with what they've done now, I mean, coming for that would be a bit of a stretch, unless it was like some massive wick, I think. All right. So yeah, I mean, this to me, oh my god. Why is it doing this? I can't undo anything without it just undoing that one thing. That's really annoying. This point here seems like a nice change of character candidate. Locally, things are a bit messy. I'm gonna be honest. And now I want it back. We have China's high above us here. And we had a Sydney damage kind of wick on Tokyo, which can give us a bit of a clue on the direction that they're going, I think, for a lot of UK. And that direction would be up. We have this liquidity curve here. Now, I was playing devil's advocate here with this mitigating a tiny 1 minute gap here. It could be a catalyst for us to just stay ranging inside here for UK. We have liquidity. We have liquidity below us. But we also have a little Dow SMT on this low. So if it does push up, then I wouldn't be surprised. But I think this could be a little candidate for a retracement into this kind of opened area. We have a naked point of control down here, which was created just after UK Open. There's a chance that we could come into this, but we'll have to see what they do with this little 1 minute mitigation. If we get closes above this and keep taking liquidity and kind of breaking microstructure up here, I wouldn't shy away from longing into China's high. But we'll have to see. They're making the immediate structure around here very, very messy. That's okay. Asia was a bit crazy on that Japan push, so it instantly broke structure, right? So all of this is nested within bullish structure for sure, and we'll just have to see what this kind of internal UK situation is going to do. I didn't see with UK. I would have liked it to hit some kind of external liquidity point, which wasn't an ambiguous kind of pushing down on kind of lows like this, but because of this massive gap that Tokyo made, this low on UK Open could be enough to bring us up to take China's high. But they didn't give. It's not what I necessarily like to see. I would have liked to seen a little wash here, this kind of thing get taken, like a liquidity point like this get taken. I would have liked to see that. But If we just want to play structure, this is an okay candidate for a break structure. So maybe we could take longs if we get retracements into here. But what happened with China's high? Well, China's high, money flow had heavily dived on many, many time frames coming into it, which makes me a bit cautious about immediately longing. But you know, divs weren't significant. We didn't really come into like a block or anything that I would be confident in taking shorts directly off of, or retests of this internal structure. I wouldn't really entertain much. But it is the high that is the potential 2-hour FEG mitigation. So, you know, we could roll over from here and maybe just build a structure here inside this, you know. No idea. Liquidity grabs and breaks of structure are getting smaller. Their tolerances are getting smaller. So we have a tiny lick grab here into an ambiguous break of structure here, and kind of back and forth with not very clear signs for me. So in this kind of situation, I'll just focus on very local stuff. You know, we have these points down here. There's a nice anchored VWAP, you know, could be ripe for swiping. Yeah, not very clear on trade entries for me today. We'll see as it gets closer to US with what we're doing. But yeah, for I mean, I could have taken some lower quality trades, but I mean, I think my brow for taking a trade is getting a bit higher, and if it's just not completely clear to me, I might just sit them out, you know, a bit more than I used to. So where does that leave us? Well, I think liquidity-wise, with targets, we have a very nice gap above us that could fake a lot of people out. They could be relying on this 2-hour gap mitigation point to carry. And, you know, we still have a much more valid gap that I've been looking at around the initial greater change of character here that has not been interacted with. And I could see us making a very cheeky swipe up into that, and then using that liquidity to build this maybe a wider range here. You know, we still have a lot of points down here that are looking to be interacted with. Okay, we're retesting this 1 minute mitigation here now. I'm starting to feel less confident about this kind of China push holding us down. We are diving into it. Yeah, I'll have to see. For my timing models, let's see, do I have? The only one that I could, now that we've re-tapped that this mitigation point, I'm thinking we might be a bit more bullish. We could do this kind of continuation. So we had this entry point, which was here. Yeah. I was thinking maybe we had one of these bearish models going on, particularly this one, but that's been invalidated now. So maybe we get a retrace into this. We could get a scalp up into China's high, potentially. I'll have to see. We're into a window now where we just kind of wait and have a look, but we are hitting bullish hidden divs on a few time frames coming into this. So yeah, it seems like UK has decided that, well, it's seeming more like UK has decided that they just want to push up. How it looks. But yeah, this kind of choppy little structure around here, not everything is immediately clear. And that's okay. Let's look at the implications of this change of character lasting. Well, this is the thing now. So we have this break of structure, this much greater break of structure. I don't know why the undo button is not undoing my drawings, but anyway, which was fueled by this liquidity grab. Okay, and this is all attached to much greater, bigger structures. So that's the prevailing trend. But then we had this change of character, and we do have a full bear div on the 12-hour and on the daily, and kind of printing on the weekly. So I mean, something to remember. We have this change of character here, which has been kind of confirmed, you know, by this liquidity grab. And then we had this internal one here, which is not showing up on this chart for some reason, but it's in here. And then we came into this liquidity point, which is definitely attached to this break, this greater break of structure, right? So if we want to play devil's advocate for the bullish trend prevailing, you know, getting closes up and up and up, and even coming up to this RTH gap, it would be a very sensitive little area, because we could easily print, you know, a huge push up into this liquidity area, which has been sitting here for a while, like for sure. If resistance starts taking over, you know, and the earlier the better. If we start getting dances around in here and then breaks of structure, that could be a sign that this prevailing downtrend is the one that to look out for, and that these SMTs on the NAS 100 or whatever are not valid, like not valid pushes, not valid fuel. Yeah, the thing about this is, you know, it's this doesn't leave a lot to analyze in regards to like supply and demand yet. I think we need to hit a bit of a greater supply area for it to clear up the picture a bit. This didn't div with anything on the 1 day, on the daily, I believe. Yeah, there was nothing. We got some ambiguous kind of money flow play on lower time frames. We did hit a div on the 12-hour here. So could it bring us up? Yeah, of course. I think at this stage, I want to see if they're coming for this. And if they do, I'm going to be in a much more confident place to do some more concrete analysis. Right now, we're just riding this push up. But looking at higher structure, it's a bit ambiguous. It's not as clear. This was an SMT. I don't normally override my models with SMTs, but this was an SMT on the S&P and the Dow. As in, the NQ took this high here, but it wasn't taken on the others. So if that gets some follow through, maybe we could just retrace back into UK's demand. We have news later, so they don't really have to make any moves at the moment. You know, they could just let the news do all of the speaking with that wick, whatever happens. So yeah, you know, a bit ambiguous here. Did take this internal liquidity and got some kind of weaker structural breaks. So wouldn't be surprised if they came for this FVG. Also wouldn't be surprised if they just kind of fake this zone out and pull back into this structure that they've made. Though that would create more of a it would need more time, I think, for things to play out. They'd probably arrange it longer if they did that. So yeah, Yeah, that's it for me today, I think, really. Um, yeah, I guess you could take little scalps here, but I think it's just not really my environment, you know, if I'm going to be honest. And that's okay. Not every day is going to be is not going to work with your trading personality. Sometimes you're going to look at the charts and you're going to be like, show me something else. Come back tomorrow. But it's good to try and work out structure so that when stuff does happen, you know, you have a bit more of a picture of what's happening, you know. Um, where did that close? Did that even close? I mean, that could just be like a really cheeky retest of the 1 minute fair value gap. I could see that coming back in, perhaps. Yeah, it did div. Money flow technically diverged. That could bring us back in. If we got internal breaks of structure here, you know, it could be some kind of short. Now, I mean, they could just blow through it, but something like that, you know, playing with a little volume gap here. It's a bit ambiguous though. You know, we do have China's high here, so you'd be relying on a short on China's naked high. So not a super great candidate, but it depends what they want to do. All right, that's it. That's it for today. It's a bit vague. It's a bit vague for me. Yeah, it's not clear every day. But anyway, guys, I hope this kind of helps. We're still playing with points that we were from Sunday and Monday, you know. We just recovered this push down. Now we need to see if this external grab is what it says it is, or if it's just inducement for maybe high low leverage trades to put their stops under, and you know, could just cut down. It's very possible. Yeah, let's have a look. Let's have a look what they do. All right, peace, guys. Happy trading. And oh, can you get that break? Yeah, yeah. I mean, China's high seems like it could be taken. Anyway, yeah. Happy trading, and we'll see you tomorrow.